Good morning, everyone. So I think it's time to start for today's info seminar. First of all, I have to introduce myself. I'm Mentor Yu. I'm the Associate Professor of Practice in PolyU Design. I also um, the Deputy Leader of the Foundation Year Program. So today I will going to introduce something about you, how you apply this program, and something about the program's characteristics, and of course some tips for the applications. So first of all, I would like to answer the questions. I think now the questions in your mind. What should I study? If I choose study, why should I choose study? And for people who are really interested in art and design, of course, right? As something everyone will assume that. But I would like to mention something about you. That is something, the questions about yourself. So are you tired of answering questions? Are you tired of waiting for whole days? And sometimes you are more keen on your personal interests, right? Something that really motivate you. So this is not only applied to design and art. Every time when you question about your futures, I think the first question is start from your personal interests, and that will really motivate you to work better. For design, there are some traits for those design students. Actually, I think if you are in school, you might aware some naughty student in teacher's eyes, maybe, and a problematic student, a troublemakers, right? All these traits actually somehow, I don't know why, will more reflect in our school, and all those so-called naughty school actually found their world in design. I'm not saying that being rebellious is the only thing you need to consider. You always question about something. You're okay to absorb knowledge, but you are more on why I need to learn this, what is the purpose of this theory and this kind of knowledge, how should I apply this in my future? All these kind of questions, you always questions. This is the, I would say, probably those problematic guys. And another thing that never that haven't listed in this chart is something about your satisfactions. Do you enjoy that your work being recognized by someone and exposed to the public? I think this is the best thing of the art and design domain, because when my mother asked me when I graduated, son, I don't know what you are doing in your work. What are you doing actually? I was just pointing the TV. Okay, that IKEA ad, I did that. I think that is something I would say I quite enjoy about that. And people or even my fellow classmates will know what we are doing, and we are discussing about the work that really exposed to the public. I think that is quite different from the other professions, which is you're focusing on your own area, and of course they contribute to the society a lot, but we are the people more enjoyed our work exposed to the public. So that is the first thing I would like to mention. And this is something you probably can guess, full of creative ideas, of course, because you are always questioning about something. You want to explore the thing differently. Every approach, why not doing this? I know this is probably the best way, but what if another way to solve something? Actually, design is another domain which is good at solving so-called a wicked problem. That means not the obvious problem, really focused solution you need to come up with. Sometimes you need to try. So all those, say for example, the property problem. Obviously, poverty is a big topic, right? But if we are designer, we try to explore different way, try to define which segment, which target group that we probably suitable for the context in design to solve. So, and of course, I think this is applied to all university studies, critical thinking and curiosity. As I said earlier, if you are full of interest, you like to play Gundam, you like to draw manga, you like to weaving something, knitting something for your friends, all those hobby thing, and you curious about what's happening around you, like the society problem, why such old lady being forgotten, even something stupid questions, why the handle should work like this, any other way to do that, and why is something always in your mind, and then you will take action to find it out, not just sitting there, oh, that is an interesting question, and then that's it, and move on to another questions. And yes, you may guess that is something we are looking for, good visual skills and handcraft. Some of you probably take the BA subject in school and gone through some proper training somehow, but that is not a must. Since 2 years ago, we are open more opportunity for those who never been trained in the art and design, but they have to passionate about that, right? Just find some chance for someone to give them useful guidance for them. And yes, as I said, social issues. Why designer good at solving social issues? Because social issues is quite complicated somehow. Sometimes related to cultural factors, sometimes related to economic factors. So all these complicated thing, we designer are keen on find some different way, because there is not obvious solutions. Sometimes we need to try a different thing. And last but not least, design is another profession that is really good for people who perceive themselves maybe as leisure, or even if you want to set up your own company, in design domain is relatively easier, because the setup cost is all about talent. You are the asset. It's not about the equipment. So in such case, you think about that again. Are you suitable for design? I guess you guys at least will interested about that, or else you will not sitting there, right? And this something about, I know this is a bit like an advertisement, but I have to say that this is something you really need to consider, at least in Hong Kong. Why choose PolyU? First of all, I will say that is quite high in terms of the ranking in the Asia Design Institute, top 20 in the QS, the most credible system to gauge the performance of each institute. We are floating in within 20, sometimes better, sometimes drop a bit, it's fluctuated a bit, it happens. And since last year, we introduced a new program, a new curriculum that is different from the past. We used to have the 4-year system. You start all from year 1 for your chosen area. Say, for example, me, if I'm advertising, if you are admitted that you study advertising design from year 1. But since last year, we changed a bit, because we found that design is no longer just focusing on your domain area. We emphasize the interdisciplinary approach to learn and even to solve the problem. So this is the reason why we want all students have a chance to know a bit about what other disciplines are doing. So not just, oh, this is not about advertising, it's not my business, but that is not, I would say this is not appropriate in the futures. You have to know everything around you. And 9 design disciplines. I will talk about this later, what kind of specialism that we have. And every university will use English as the medium of instruction, of course. And we are the youngest top 20 design school. Yes, there is a lot of RCA, I would say there will be all those top-notch, but they have a long history. We have just 60, so 60th anniversary will be 2024, so I would say that will be quite young comparatively. And 40% of the teaching members are local and 60% are from international in the academic teaching staff. So that is quite high comparatively. And now you're sitting in the building designed by Zaha Hadid, who passed away some years ago. But this building definitely, at least when they are building this, I anticipate about this. I always imagine what it looks like inside. And I think the atmosphere here, I think at least you know something that is not, there's no strict answer. Why the lecture hall will have this non-vertical wall, there should be a slope here, or seems like useful and function, a lot of questions that create. I think there's something, we mentioned this, there some philosophy about this design. Design are looking for different perspectives. So every perspective you have a new finding. So if you want to explore here, you may try that, see if that really applies to you. And talking about the network, we have collaborated with a lot of professionals in the local level, in the Greater China level, even international level. That means not only to the institutes, also for the big corporate. And every applicant in the interview would like to ask this. I don't know why, maybe they are not satisfied only stay in Hong Kong. Yes, the more and more exchange quota in the coming years. That means in year 3, every student will have a chance to go abroad. Depends on which country you like, which institute you want to try. So at least 1 semester you will stay not in Hong Kong. And as I said, design is really good for those who want to start your own business. We perceive our program is the springboard because not only the design fundamental thing, your specialism thing, also how you start up your own company. And more graduates not only apply for the job once they graduate, they think about what should, they want the business, what is the content of their business if they want to be the owner. And since in the year 4 course, that is quite, I would say that's exciting because the world has changed. Everything is disrupted, right? No big corporate is no longer the advantage. So some small creative mind actually will did a lot of good startup and won a lot of good startup and shocked the world. And the real clients, we emphasize something about the word in education. I will talk about it later. So you have chance not only study the makeup project brief, makeup questions, you will have a chance to solve the real world problem with the real client. And of course about the community, and we are keen on engage with community, not only the business side, a lot of needy in our society. Probably we have a chance to use our competence, our strength to solve their problem. And we call this a service learning program. One example is we did some, like the book of life for the elderly. So we reach out those elderly and ask to the research about their life and give them a design for them. It's be a photo book or illustration book. That is quite interesting. So something like that in the PolyU Design. So teaching method, And other good side for studying in PolyU is that is we are the only faculty we have our own studio. That means a bunch of students will be have their dedicated studio space for certain period, say for example 1 year and then another year. So that is the good thing to to build up the sense of belonging, and then most importantly, a lot of crazy people, weirdo, they will spend a lot of time with you, spend overnight for the project or whatever leisure activity. So that is the learning environment. And of course, those exhibition area or the teaching area or the studio workshop thing. We also design a lot of teaching and learning activity that really collaborate with the community. Say, for example, with a lot of NGO, and then we go to their office, or we go to their workplace to engage with those needy. So this is something not only stay in your studio, even that is in your studio, it's not, I would say it's never be the same like your secondary school classroom. Actually, it's a lot of discussions will happen in the studio. And for the other support, like the facility, I will not exaggerate saying that we have the state-of-art equipment, but I would say more than enough. So, like the material center, material resource center, that is the material library. Actually, every student can touch the material they want and know more about the information, how to get the materials, what is the channel to getting them. And all those lab, the fabrication lab is on the way in they're setting up, will be ready in 2024. So fabrication lab means all in one, from the technician to those programming thing, coding thing, and to those workshop tools, power tools, and even a lot of electronic kits. Every student, once you have exchanged idea, no matter it's related or not to your project, you can actualize it in those fabrication lab. So I am the foundation year deputy leader. That means I more on the foundation year course. And foundation year course that usually we implies that is the most fundamental skills, basic things, but it's not limited to certain area. And the second year will be the cluster. We group the similar specialism into a cluster. Say, for example, communication design, environment design, and product experience design, and service design. What is it about? So in communication design, it's not graphic design, not as the old terminology. Communication, we're focusing the domain or the area which is more use the communication, visual communications, like advertising design, where I come from, and information design and media design. Media design usually imply to those video, filmmaking, content making subject. And information design is talking something about how to transform the complicated information into more pleasurable, easy to understand way, just like the wayfinding thing and the publication thing. And advertising design, I think, is self-explained. And environment design, including environmental design and interior design. Environmental design actually is not interior design. You always imagine that is something about how to renovate your house, and then it's something designed about your bedroom and living room, right? But it's not limited to that. Interior design, they will say the interior architecture actually. So and it's not limited to that small area. That is, we include that is called residential area. Environmental design is more some like, if you can imagine, that's a landscape design is the environmental design, right? It's something bigger. It's about the urban planning, how the playground interact with the community. That is something about the environment design. Product experience is actually derived from the interaction design and industrial product design, but now they go together. The similar point is we are no longer focusing on how to cost effectively to produce the product. We emphasize what is the form of the form language of the product and how they interact with the user. And the user is not only the physical in touch with the product. Sometimes we consider about the whole experience, like the Apple, right? It's not only the phone, it's about the whole user experience. So this will be the interaction design thing. And surface design is quite new to us. We have the social design, I think 5 years ago, 7 years ago probably. And surface design also included, I would say, more on commercial side. And just to give you an example, if we are doing the hotel business for the hospitality, surface design probably are good at come up with some travel experience to the non-locals, to the tourists. So start from the landed and then how they travel to the hotel and how to introduce some tailor-made service, sightseeing service for them. And all these surface related, I would say this is one of the example you can imagine what they are like. And social design actually is have a long history. It's quite young in SD, but it's quite long history. Mostly they are focusing on the social issue. Say for example, why the people throw away their cigarette butts and how to change this phenomenon, this behavior, and how to help those who cleaning such annoying trash every day, every minute. So something can be small like this, can be big as like how to solve the property, but really depends on what you observe, what problem that you identify. Foundation year course, that will be the design basics. That means the communication basics, like the visual language thing, and some visualization course, just like the drawing. I know I'm not student not maybe not good at such area, but you have chance to train up. At least you won't be being an illustrator after the one semester, but definitely you have certain ability to express what's in your mind. That's what is the purpose of this subject. Design studio, we emphasize on learn by doing. That means we give you questions or even change. We ask you the question to prompt questions, and you define the problem of that questions and you find the solution. That is quite different. We usually use the design studio approach, studio project, we call that. So that is the long process, but you have many chance to discuss with your teammate and your tutors to certain topics and certain brief. Yeah, common basics, say for example, is the tools. For research tools, for the application tools, just like the visualization tools, and creative thinking. I think you can imagine that is some kind of myth. Okay, design, creative, something rooted in your mind already. And design process. If you are admitted, you will know more about. There is no so-called magic. Not like I'm the creative guy, always creative. Actually, creative could be trained. As long as they've been through a lot of process in the project, they will know how to come up with idea and solutions. So 4 cluster. I talked about this before. And even in your cluster year, that means you have selected your preferred cluster already, not decided on which specialism yet. So you have explored similar cluster first. We also use the design studio project, and you know more about the materials and even the terminologies and related to the cluster. And you start to learn a more in-depth research methodology. And presentation actually is not only for cluster, for the whole 4 years you have a lot of chance to practice the presentations. And the new trend about AI, how AI impact to design, to society, actually we have included that since the new curriculum launch. And we started to taste the interdisciplinary collaborations. So this is in the cluster. Probably you could animation, you like drawing, you like to do the graphic design, you like to design a book, you want to make a movie, short video, doing an ad, and such thing listed here. All right, so actually everything related to communications, more on communications.
卡被告於本月頭購買名貴手錶，涉嫌犯下衝動購物罪，引致本月使費嚴重超支。
嗰日我收工經過錶鋪，我望佢第一眼，我心跳得好快好快。佢對我嚟講真係好靚、好特別、好靚㗎。但係當我醒翻嘅時候，我已經俾咗張信卡出去啦。嗰下只係一個錯。法官大人，我認罪。
各位有結果未？
我出8000。
成交，罪惡感即時釋放。
I don't even know they are ready for the video. And this is the one example, simply the PowerPoint created like this work. And this is from advertising. And as you may know, that is the video, but if you consider you know nothing about advertising, but after the graduate, you have a chance to set up what is the message, to say something about the carousel, and start from what is the approach to talk to your target audience, what is the main point to let them use carousel. So this is something about the communication strategy, and not to mention the production part. You will learn how to create a storyboard and make it comes alive. So I know that is not perfect, but that is student work. To me, is more than presentable. And environment and interior design, as I mentioned, for the museum design and even the public space, residential space and commercial space, user and space, structure, texture, materials, everything related. Actually, you may if you like this kind of thing, you like this area, you may consider E&I, environmental and interior design. And product experience design, that is, from my observation, boys are more likely to choose this because they can actually make something out, and boys usually don't mind to make their hands dirty, and there's a lot of chance for you to work something out, physical object, and you're not only for model making, not only the prototyping, something about the ergonomic, the market, the materials, and the sustainability that we emphasize more and more consideration in those product design or product experience design. So you have a chance to know a little bit more, not just making a chair. So a lot of workshop that let you experience making a chair. It's not a product design only, okay? And the service design, as I mentioned, you are more likely, that is two things. One is co-creation in social design. We engage the community. We are not work alone. We pull in a lot of stakeholders. We need to design something to solve something. We are not just like the old days, the designer doing everything. They actually go to the community and engage with those users, the end user, and talk to those decision makers and ask for some sponsorship, everything that you need to consider. That means if you are event organizer in your school, student association, you like doing such thing, all those whole system, just like a proposal. You really like to work out something on the proposal, and this is something quite similar. So not only about the project, about the whole service system, you also need to know the experience design, the research, a lot of research approach that's quite interesting. It's not only writing and taking photos. And the user journey design and visualizations, understand the human, the consumer behavior, not only the consumer, actually some kind of social science content will be included. And as I said, co-designing process. So it's not talking about how beauty the outcome is, it's about the process. Actually, every participant engage that and think about the problem, and they will just let the snowball rolling in the future. So that is something we are focusing on. After that, 9 specialism: advertising, information design, media. So this is the 9 specialism: environmental design, interior design, product design, interaction design, social and service design. So in year 3, year 4, you are really focusing on the chosen specialism, chosen program. That means that 2 years intensively to build up your domain knowledge. I know we should not limit to that. You have chance to expose something different in the first 2 years, but now you are pick on your most interest area to build up your first knowledge first. So professional practice, we put in a lot of practitioner to share, to give you insight what is the future about in this area. And service learning project, but you probably will contribute your domain knowledge. And as I said, the WIE, cooperative project, just like the word in education. What in education we quite emphasize on this part, because we are not only the traditional one to doing that, the employer also your teachers. So you are graded by your employer. That means you will not have that kind of shock once you graduate and then you step into the real world for working. You have some kind of transitional period, let you taste a bit, and reshape your assumption, I would say. And internship, similarly, internship is another credit-bearing subject. Entrepreneurship, we will introduce a lot of, invite a lot of entrepreneurs, which is graduate from design school, and then they will share a lot of how they start from zero and build up really good business that impact to the society. And integrated capstone, traditionally every student take care of their own selected final year project, but we start from 3 years ago, we introduced the interdisciplinary capstone. That means those students are interested in a common topic, they have the chance to work together. You are not fighting alone. You probably with your fellow classmate in SD. So that is quite interesting for those people who not only enjoying work alone. So you have chance to work as a group for your capstone project. So this is some example cooperative project, 6 credit subject in year 4. Real client will come to our school and then we'll give you the brief. You need to come up with the real solution for their business or for their service. And another part is the internship. I think it's quite obvious, no need to explain at all. After year 4 training, after those torture thing, and then it's your show time in your annual show. As you may see here, I think this is the tears and blood work for all the graduate. I really, every year, that's the most, to me, especially to me, it's the most touching moment when I see all the students set up their work as their final project. I can feel their passion and their hard work. So you may take some time to work around and know more about that. And integrated capstone, as I mentioned, that this is some example. This is the topic about how to rejuvenate the old physical book and how to build up the habit again for reading. And something like 菜園村, that is about social issue. And even just like I remember last year we have the project about the COVID, the quarantine. What should people, how they can live better during that quarantine period? Any kind of location suggestion, even the interior system, how to make it better. I think that is quite interesting and timely topic. All right, last is about the employers. I think, as you can imagine, all those national big corporate, international corporate to those local startup. This is some example. It's not limited to certain, it's for all, and not limited to this. There's a lot. Okay, this is the example what I would say the famous people that graduate from School of Design. Freeman Lau, a famous graphic designer, brand consultant, and Carrie Chow, a famous local illustrator, and James Orr, graduated from advertising, I remember. And he started a business, I think, 9 years ago, called GoGo Van, and then now this on the stock market and become OOX. So this kind of entrepreneur always come back to school for sharing. And Waman Hui is used to be animation director in Pixar in Hollywood. And Vivian Tam, Alice Mac McDowell, Anthony Lowe, handling a lot of car design, just like he's Ford. I remember he's working in Ford now and the chief designer, but exterior designer in Ford. And the first work from Anthony is, I remember, the brand called Lotus. That is kind of a roadster car. And Ju Jan-on is the filmmaking area and is producer. Actually, line up a lot of Hollywood production to shoot, to find out directly the location and for help them to set up the crew in Hong Kong. This is the transformer. I remember that is. All right, some tips about the admissions. First of all, about the portfolio. You might have a lot of work. I guess I assume this will be an art and design related subject. So your homework, your personal work, you need to organize that. Just show your competence. Maybe you're good at drawing. Maybe you're good at research. We all treasure on this certain area. It's not only focused on, I know no one is perfect, so you just show what is your strength. You're willing to try. Willing to try means that we will show you enjoying the process. There's a lot of portfolio just show the outcome because they found the process is ugly. It's not worth to see. Actually, I think you may think this reversely. We know how this nice outcome come from, where they come from, how they was born. And this is the process. I will know more about your thinking process, the way of your doing the work. And of course, some description of your work. What is it about? No need essay on that. I think that's your SBA project. Just simplify it, summarize what is the main point of this product, what is it about. Focus, that's why I'm saying that. Diversify. We expect, I think that is something that showing you are really interested in trying different things. So if you are good at drawing, or this is the watercolor, I think that's good. I will say, oh, this is stunning skills in watercolor, but how about your thinking? How about your making? So all these questions will be still in my mind. So I think that is something you may consider. If you have something interesting, not only about the art drawing thing, you may consider to put it in the portfolio. And easy access. This specifically mentioned about this because we got a lot of link that is broken. That's broken link. You waste your chance. And of course, some tips for displaying your work. You may consider your user will using screen. So a lot of students want to stuff everything into a portfolio. That means every nice drawing just look like a stamp. Imagine if the visual should have certain impact, the bigger the better, right? So consider what is the focus and consider how people appreciate your work. Not showing that I draw a lot and then the stamp. I cannot even check for the individual work. I think that is not a easy to assess problem. Last but not least, it's quite important, visual diary. Why we consider a lot of the student that with visual diary. Visual diary actually is showing the student are really prepared for this. Not start from a night before submission to submit the portfolio. That is the strong evidence. So cannot fake, visual diary cannot fake. So you have to do it from time to time. So about the admission tips, you may know more about how to prepare portfolio. We have prepared a video. So this is the QR code. You may check in and find out more. And once your portfolio are selected, yes, a lot of portfolio will comes in. Luckily, you are selected. Another luck that is you pass the threshold of the DSC result. You will probably be invited to have the interview. What the purpose of the interview is, of course, we know more about you, not just the digital file, and we will know more about your communication skills. Quite important. I do have experience for 20-minute interview. The student may be too nervous, speak nothing. I talk 20 minutes because every student got 20 minutes. I tried our best. 2 panel members tried to prompt his conversation for 20 minutes, fail. But I would say his word is the best among the portfolio. But after the discussion, we still consider not to take it in because we are emphasizing on communication. We are not the artistic expression. So that is something you need to prepare a bit at least. And of course, there is some conversation about your work. That means what is the best thing of your work? Do you know that? And if that is something we want to know more. So this is the timeline. Before December, you may apply through the Drupals. And then for the online portfolio submission will be after your DSC. If you are taking this Drupals, if you're taking DSC, I know that you're focusing on your examination. That is true, you have to focusing on that. That is the last exam if you go being admitted to design, but try your best to get the best result. At least meet some basic requirement for entry to the university. And after that, you need to prepare portfolio and submit it online in mid-June. So probably a month for you to prepare that. And the interview will be held in face-to-face probably this year. And end of July will be the interview period. And yeah, end of July to early October. Not October, so August. And right after the interview, I think a week later, you will get the result. So this is for non-local, non-JUPAS student. For those who studying IB, probably IB, this is the timeline for you. You don't have to wait for the DS exam. So you may apply here via PolyU admission until February. So it's rolling base. You can, once you're ready, you can do that. And submit your portfolio in February. So after you registered your applications, and then this is the time for you to submit portfolio. And March and April will be the time for us to screen your portfolio and arrange the interview. So before May, probably you will have chance to join the interview. And this is, I know this is a bit awkward, the notification of the non-JUPAS offer. Just consider those special achievement thing, a lot of different quota for those students. And that is the rolling base from mid-October to end of August. That means that it's quite special queue for some special case. But look at this, before February, and you have to apply it, and before February, you have to submit your portfolio. All right, more information you can check out here. Use the QR code provided. All right, that's pretty much it for my content. Any questions about the sharing?